Hello, me again. I say this every time, but this probably will actually be just a quick one. And I keep setting the TARDIS up in the background just because it's appropriate, and without it, you know, not that you wouldn't know why you were here, but yeah, it's there. It's the only one. Well, no, I've got the Brahowski refit box is also still. It's no further forward, so that one's finished. That's the only reason I got that one down, just to put in the background. Yeah, so I would give a quick update on a couple of bits and pieces. As for the two projects I've got in the pipeline, this is as far as I've gotten on the sort of Claws of Axos box. So, to the future owner of that one, apologies. They were left over from another, but yeah, they will go towards it. And then I've actually been working on the Arwel-Jones model that someone commissioned. Just because the bits I've been doing are the sort of most complicated bits, and I wanted to get them out of the way. It doesn't really make a difference. Ultimately, it's just I'd know I had them to do, and I would put a lot of stock into it, like thinking about it. So that one has come first, but the other one I'm working on the files for the Pertwee era box to get them even more sort of detailed. So that one's coming too, but it's not at the point where I've started to put it together or cut the pieces, but it is coming. But yeah, this is just a little insight into the way I've constructed this. So this is one of the doors, no wood grain yet, and these panels are all just sort of popped in, and then as you can see there is grooves left, all but the top one, which is for the window. The window will eventually go there. But yeah, these squares do have the wood grain on. They've been very lightly painted just to give an idea of how it'll look. But yeah, so that's a door. Then we've got the other door and the three sides. So all three have got the 45-degree bevels just about where I want them to be. Like the consistency is pretty much there. I might have to do a little bit more sanding and filling just to get it completely legit, but yeah, that's like the worst bit because it's so messy and there's a lot of time and a lot of sort of trial and error. But yeah, that's that. I also found, because I had some colour swatches lying around, I have like every blue colour from B&Q's Valspar range. I painted some of the blue. So this blue on these is not the final blue of the box that I used for the other model, like the big finished model that I had. It was just another blue that I had. And in fact, that one had a lot of lacquer on it, and that changes the colour. It makes it look richer and darker and shinier, obviously. But it just changed the colour. But this is the true colour of that first box, the one that's on Instagram and everything, and that I've shown in the background of here, I think, at one point. This is that true colour. And then I've got my little swatches from B&Q, which are a combination of, some are from as recent as like 6 months ago. Some of them are like 5 years old, and maybe not even as much as that, but pretty old. I think they keep the same. They still got all the same colours. So yeah, it's basically every conceivable blue, every shade of blue. Some of them aren't even blue. They're like grey and sort of purpley hues. But basically everything they do as a standard. They can mix any colour, in theory, although I've had mixed results actually. But those are the named colours that you can go in and pick up the card and say, I want it to look like the card. So I took those and I was sat and I thought, well, just for the sake of argument, because I had so much trouble actually getting the shade right first time, I had to mix all different teal colours and stuff. I thought I'll sit and, you know, see if any of them actually match. And this one, which is called Royal Concerto, again, doesn't immediately jump out, I don't think, as being the right colour. But if you look there, you can see that's where I've painted on. That's where I've actually painted on the blue that I used on the model. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty bloody close. I mean, you'd be hard pushed to notice that was even painted on there if I hadn't pointed it out, I think. And it's like that in real life too. It's slightly lighter, I think, than the card, but other than that, the colour's pretty much bang on. And there's the two together again. It's pretty close for an off-the-shelf colour. This wasn't even the reason I made this video, but yeah, that would be a good, useful indicator. Royal Concerto. And yeah, so I am going to get a pot of that next time I go, which won't be soon, because I've got plenty of paint in. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well that works, because sometimes they come out and they're a bit kind of flat. It's so hard to explain. People are constantly asking me, what colour should I use for this, what colour, and I just don't have the answers. I just don't. I mean, that as good as it looks could be completely wrong. So I would say, if you're going to try it. You can get a tester pot made for £4, and they are, you know, one of these. I have a drawer full of them, but they're all not the true colour. They're like the mixed colour. So deep teal, nautical nights. These two pots were originally those colours, but this little bit on the top I've painted onto a piece of paper. That's not the true colour. That's the colour that I've mixed into it, so black into it and stuff like that. Anyway, you can still see remnants of the original. Just how vibrant. See, you can't even see on the camera, but it was so vibrant. Like, because it's mixed of all these different components, you often see the residue of the colours they've used, the components they've used to mix it. And it's like, you would never in a million years think that was the TARDIS colour. See, it looks alright there now, I'm looking at it on the camera, but in real life it's like a sea world kind of blue, you know, like just a really sort of aqua bathroom kind of colour, not really a TARDIS colour. Although this particular TARDIS isn't very blue, it is more green. I'll put the colour next to the blue of the Hartnell one, just for reference. The you know, they're very different. But yeah, so that's that. And as I come to work on the actual finish of the Arwel-Jones model, I will probably end up mixing all new colours again, and it's just a process. And as good as the first one was, and I would like to recreate that, if I can't get that exactly, then you'd be talking a fractional change probably, but it will have to be not remixed, but I do have some of the original colour, it just might not be necessarily enough to finish the whole thing. So that's that. Separate from that, I got in touch with the guy on Facebook, whose name I will put in the description of the video, or his page or whatever, if you want to get in touch with him. But he put together some brilliant lamps, just static lamps for the Jodie Whittaker Arwel-Jones TARDIS. For such a long time it was the Jodie Whittaker TARDIS, and now it's the Jodie Whittaker, David Tennant, Ncuti Gatwa TARDIS. So it's weird to kind of, probably, yeah, it's the Arwel-Jones model. Baffling so it is that they decided to keep it on. Probably the right decision, just for brand synergy and stuff. And if you already had all the CGI models of it, why not? Not that they're very accurate, I don't think, from what I've seen of someone who has looked at the box a lot for the work I'm doing. Whenever there's a CGI sequence, there's one in 73 yards, I think. but mostly like spacey sequences. I'm like, that's not right. Those panels don't look anything like the ones in here, you know. You'd think they'd get that stuff right, but evidently not. But yeah, so some guy, and there's one that's partially painted. It's just great, like as a freestanding piece. I don't think I'm going to be making this particular model in that size because I just feel like it would be ridiculously fiddly. I mean, it's already really difficult at 1/6. Those corner post notches are like the absolute killer because you have to do every little bit individually, and it's like even with the precise wooden moldings I use and like the razor blade, it's so difficult to get it exactly right, especially for like the crisp HD look. I kind of got it right on the last model, but even then the paint disguises some of the slight imperfections, you know. But yeah, so I'm not currently planning on building one, but I do have 3 of these, which, you know, they're a solid unit. They're printed in something or other. They're pretty smooth. I mean, the lines on them like imperceptible. The print lines, I can't see them if they're there. I mean, they will be there, but they're very good. And then each one has the 4 little struts, and they seem pretty robust, which is impressive for the size. So yeah, those are those. Now I also have these just arrived yesterday. It's from a guy who sold me the last one. 2 more of the 1/6 scale versions. So as you can see, they haven't been painted this time. Oh, one is broken. Probably my doing. Little strut's broken off it. Yeah, I'll be able to fix that with a bit of glue, I suppose. But yeah, they haven't been primed, painted, but they are you know, ready to go. These ones do have a hole down the middle so you can put a bulb in, and they come with the little bulb. I'm not an electrician or anyone who really does anything like that, so it's not something I personally do, but it could be done quite easily. And and just on that, all the models I make at this point have some sort of hole up to the lamp, where the lamp will go. So if you ever want to do that, the option is always there. Or the kits I make, I should say, and models. I try to make it that as a standard now. At one point I didn't, and then someone said, oh, it's a shame you didn't do that because I would have bought this. And I was like, it was an auction kind of thing, and I thought, yeah, I probably should have done. By that point it would have been too difficult for me to do it. That was why. But yeah, it's generally good if they're there. Looking at these now, especially this one with the broken piece, I might sit and cut those 4 struts off and then paint it and then attach my own little struts, like just so they're not as fragile, and also it'll help me to paint it because I have to mask everything off. But yeah, I will also attach that guy's name in the description as soon as I can find it. I have to go back and have a look. But yeah, he made those 2 for me, so it's nice to know the option is there. Because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get a hold of another one after I made that first one. But then someone ordered another box, so like I said, I can't turn it down. I can't turn down the commission if it's there. So yeah, that's that. And then also, just for the sake of why I'm here doing it, this is from the Matt Smith Flight Control TARDIS, and this is from the 6th Doctor in TARDIS from B&M, but that's the Tom Yardley Jones lamp, that the toy lamp, and that is the Matt Smith Ed Thomas lamp as made for the toy. This one is probably slightly undersized, but this one works really well for Newbury models, Newbury Logopolis, Tommy Arwel-Jones. I even built a Hoodlin one with this lamp because that was the only one I had at the time, and the guy was okay with it. But next time I build one, I'm planning on filing the top of this down. I saw someone else had done that and it looked really good, so filing the top of that down and then building the sort of Hoodlin lamp housing around that. But yeah, I have a couple of these around, so if I ever get hold of any knackered Tommy Arwel-Jones TARDISes, which is admittedly not that easy because they weren't made in as big a number. Well, now they're quite easy to get hold of, like all B&M stuff, but to break them up just for the lamp feels a bit like... I have done it though. But yeah, they're just mass produced. I mean, it's not like I'm destroying a priceless collectible or anything. None of them come from the original Forbidden Planet versions. They're all B&M. Those, they've got about 5. They're all from the 6th Doctor and TARDIS sets from last year, which were plentiful. I found plenty of them and sent them to people and stuff, so it was never an issue, really. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to do some gardening today, but it's thinking about raining, so might not happen. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah,